Hello children, our chapter is motion and time. Already we completed the chapter, so we'll just recap on motion and time. First, what is motion? Change in position of an object with respect to time, that is motion. There are different types of motions are there: rectilinear, circular, curvilinear, periodic and non-periodic. Slow and fast motion. The distance traveled by objects in a given interval of time can help us to decide which one is faster or slower. Speed. The distance traveled by an object in unit time is called speed. Types of speed. Uniform speed, non-uniform speed, average speed. Uniform speed, when the object travels a fixed distance, same time gap, that is uniform speed. When an object covers different distances in different time gap, that is non-uniform speed. Average speed, the total distance traveled by an object divided by the total time taken by the object, that is average speed. Uniform and non-uniform motion. Uniform motion. An object moving along a straight line with a constant speed is said to be in uniform motion. Non-uniform motion. If an object moving along a straight line but the speed is keep on changing, then it is said to be non-uniform motion. Measurement of time. See, there are many events in nature that repeats after a time interval. Rising of the sun, morning, and then time between two new moons, that is month. Time measuring devices are clocks. Clocks use the periodic motion to measure time. There are different time measuring devices: sundial, sand clock, water clock, pendulum clock, quartz clocks. These are used to measure the time. Sundial. People in older times measured intervals of time shorter than a day with a device called sundial. See, the shadow moves according to the change in the position of the sun relative to the object. Units of time. The SI unit of time is second, but the larger unit of time other than second are minute and hour. So we know 1 hour equal to 60 minutes, 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. The bigger units of time are day, month and year. The still bigger units are for time interval are decade, century and millennium. 10 years equal to 1 decade, 100 years equal to 1 century, 1000 years equal to 1 millennium. Periodic motion of a simple pendulum. A simple pendulum contains a bob. Bob is nothing but a metallic ball or a stone which is suspended from a rigid stand with the help of a thread. Oscillatory motion is to and fro motion of an object, especially in the pendulum. Oscillation. When the bob moves from its center position to its extreme ends, then only it is said to be completing one oscillation. Time period. Time taken by the simple pendulum to complete one oscillation is called time period. Units of speed. The basic unit of speed is meter per second. The larger unit of speed is kilometer per hour. Conversion. To convert meter per second to kilometer per hour, we have to multiply it by 3.6. To convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, we have to divide it by 3.6. Measuring speed. We already know the formula to find speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. Speedometer. It's a device used in vehicles such as cars and trucks, measure the speed in kilometer per hour. Odometer. It is a device which measures the distance traveled by a vehicle in meters or kilometers. Graphical representation of data. We can represent the data in a pictorial form by three ways: bar graph, pie chart, line graph. Distance time graph. A graph which represents the distance traveled by an object with respect to time is called a distance time graph. The distance time graph is a line graph. While making, we have to divide them in equal quantities and then take the first quadrant. And then we have to use one scale to represent distance and other scale to represent time. And then we have to mark the values of time and distance in the graph. And then now we are going to set values of time taken and distance covered. Now draw lines parallel to x-axis and y-axis. Mark the points where these lines intersect on the graph. Now join all the points of intersection and obtain a straight line graph. If the distance time graph is straight line, then the object is moving in a constant speed. If it is parallel to time axis, then it is a stationary object. If the distance time graph is a curved shape, then it is non-uniform speed. Problems. Convert 43 km per hour to meter per second. 250 km per hour to meter per second. 50 meter per second to kilometer per hour. 97 meter per second to kilometer per hour. 400 km per hour to meter per second.